Hi, my name is Travis Huggins. This is for Anatomy and Physiology to the lab for Module 4 for the second question now. We're going to look at 6 different organs of the respiratory system and what their functions are. So let's get started. So starting off with the nose and the nasal cavity. Once again, I can't highlight them on this, but they're right in here. The nose and nasal cavity obviously are responsible for the detection of odors, aka smell. But beyond that, they also serve to filter out the air that we inhale, while simultaneously warming and moistening it. The frontal, ethmoid, and sphenoid and maxillary sinuses serve to lighten the skull and enhance the resonance of our voices, which is why certain singers sound like this when you pinch their nose. So, moving on. I hope I didn't just lose points for doing that voice. We're going to do the pharynx right in here. Pharynx contains the nasopharynx, which also warms the air that passes through it as well as filtering and moistening it, while the oropharynx and the laryngopharynx are pathways for both food and air. Right. Next, we have the larynx. Right in here. The larynx is responsible for making sure that food and air go down the correct pathways. It houses the voice box and is thus responsible for the production of sound. It protects the airways and warms and moistens air that goes down through it. While I'm pulling up the trachea, I think it's important to notice or to mention that the mouth and the cavity there is not part of this whole system. They are part of the gastrointestinal system, which is why I'm not mentioning them at all. Even though we can breathe through our mouth, we're actually supposed to breathe through our nose. We need that moistening and filtering to go through the nose. When you breathe through the mouth, it causes a little bit of problems. So we have the trachea. Has 3 functions: air conduction, which air moves through it. It's a passage for it, inhaling rich air and exhaling carbon dioxide. The second one is protection. It has sticky mucus that traps foreign substances, just like the previous organs. And then finally, thermoregulation, which is literally what we're talking about when we say warming the air. It helps get humidified and warmed before it enters the lungs. And we need this actually because if air gets too hot, it actually evaporates some of the water and it carries away the heat within our body. So, next up, we have once again the lungs. Right here and right here, once it highlights. Main function of the lungs is to process gas exchange for respiration, breathing. The lungs themselves are in a cavity that contains muscles that actually pull them out, causing the pressure within them, because the volume is expanded without increasing anything inside it. It creates a downward pressure, which actually is what sucks air in through your mouth. So breathing, inhalation, is due to these muscles pulling on the lungs, creating a lower pressure there, and then air comes in through the lungs. And then exhaling, it closes and the pressure increases, causing the air to want to escape your mouth. So, last but not least, I mentioned that it's part of gas exchange. Specifically within the lungs are the alveoli, which won't pop up. I just got the veins that popped up with it. But within the lungs, at the very end of this particular pathway, before entering the bloodstream, are the alveoli. This is where the lungs and blood exchange both oxygen and carbon dioxide. Oxygen coming in, carbon dioxide coming out of the blood. During the process of breathing, oxygen breathed in from air passes through the alveoli into the blood, where it is then passed on to the rest of the body, and the blood brings back the blood brings back carbon dioxide, which is passed through the alveoli into the lungs, where it is then exhaled. That is my video. Thank you very much.